Good morning, Millennial Morticians. Happy Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of this incredible podcast. I hope you guys are buckled in and ready to go. First and foremost, I want to thank the amazing people at Omicron Delta Kappa. I'm excited to officially be a member of that incredible organization, the Leadership Honor Society. It's a high honor, and a high calling. And so I'm so grateful to call myself a member of that organization. And I'm glad to see what the future holds with me in the organization and helping to develop leaders across the globe. So thank you so much for you guys and your fellowship. I look forward to connecting more with you guys. Let's get into today's episode. Let's get into the title of today's episode. I'm excited. I think we have something groundbreaking for us to talk about this week. It's going to really shake some things up, get you thinking about it in a different perspective. It's not talked about a whole lot, but I want you guys to not just be equipped mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all that other stuff, but I want you to be equipped in your heart and in your mind from the battles that you may face in life. The title of today's episode is called That's My Territory. That's My Territory. Buckle up today because I'm excited to share about this episode. I got the title for today's episode because a good friend of mine, the director of my mortuary program at Tidewater Community College, he got into a little bit of a legal battle with a big company, and they essentially tried to use eminent domain to take his funeral home, his land, and things of that nature. All in all, he came out and won the battle, won the lawsuit, so that's a blessing. And he just said, he really had to put up a fight and defend himself in his funeral home and his legacy and his business, and he did, and won as he should. And so that got me thinking and got me thinking about us and how we fit in this and in this picture. And you hear a lot of funeral homes talk about it, but not talk about it in front of families. You hear the word thrown out around here and there. But I want you to understand that the ground that you're standing on, the places that you want to go, the places that in your mind that you may have not seen in person, but know that you're trying to be, that's your territory. And so learning how to manage your territory well, you don't want to be, I'm not saying at all to be a taker, but using the places and the things that you've been given, the resources and you've been given, and defending them and saying, my work is credible enough, my clientele is strong enough that I can say, this is mine, and you're proud about where you are and where you stand in your field and in your industry and in handling business. And you hear funeral homes talk about all the time, well, that's my area or this is my area. And really what makes it your area is, what's your service like? What's your leadership like? What's your moral standing like? Because the people, your clients, the families you're serving, they're going to really be the ones that etch out if that's your territory or not. And the big thing I want funeral homes to understand and to see now is that my generation, more generations, less and less after mine as well, they don't really care about the funeral home grandma or granddad used before you met them. They're going to go to what's affordable and what's the best option. And so then you have to ask yourself the question, well, are we still in the territory business? Does territory still matter? And the answer is yes, territory still does matter if you're able to protect and defend yourself and be effective in connecting with the people on the other side of your quote unquote territory or your boundary, and making real connections with meaningful, lasting impressions on people. The one thing that I find about products and services these days in our industry is the products that do the best are the products that people remember. They have a lasting impression and leave a lasting mark. And so I ask myself, and I challenge you guys to leave a mark in your community, in your funeral home, in your area, and do something that people can remember and be proud of and honored to say, hey, that's that funeral home. They're special. I like them. They treat me well. They make me feel good. And when things come in your territory that are negative, that could negatively impact your funeral home, you have to be sharp enough as an employee, as an owner, as a funeral director, as an embalmer to defend it and say, no, this is what we do. This is who we are. So having that honesty and that transparency with your community is so important, and they can take you to a whole nother level in this industry. We tend to be an industry that sometimes like to cover up the little things, and it shouldn't be like that. We should be proud of who we are, what we've done, and what we've learned, and we learn from the mistakes that we have made, because nobody's perfect in this industry. We've all made mistakes, but we're all trying to be better and better serve families and learn from hundreds of years of funeral industry that's out there and funeral services that's out there. So guys, this week, protect your territory. Know who you are. Be dominant. Be a force. Be somebody that's making a real impact somewhere where people are like, wow, who is that? What are they doing? How are they doing it? It's because you're making an impact and you're real and you're honest about who you are and what you're trying to do. Well, guys, I'm your host, Jaden, folks. This is the Millennial Mortician Podcast, a podcast that engraves. Stay empowered this week. Stay encouraged. The sun's coming out. I can't wait to do some funerals this summer. I'm excited. Stay blessed, guys. And remember, this is the podcast that engraves. Have a good one.